Okay, so today I wanted to talk about red pill channels, um, whole math in particular, and on being nothing. So, a couple of weeks ago, I broke up with my girlfriend. Of course, I was heartbroken, and somehow the YouTube algorithm picked up on it, and I started to get more and more red pill kind of videos on my front page in my recommended about how women are like deceitful beings and how they are how you have to be some kind of you have to protect yourself against them, sorry, or you have to think in a certain way to be able to deal with women so that they don't hurt you, or that to make sure that you don't end up like getting cheated on or whatever. And some of these videos, obviously there's some truth in what they're saying, most of them, or maybe not most, but in some of them there's some truth in that. But for example, home math is getting super popular right now. It's like he's putting out videos every day, and obviously people see some kind of truth in what he is explaining and what the picture he's painting about how dating works, how women and men work, how attractiveness works. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of these channels are really overlooking some very essential aspect of what it is to be a human being. I feel like these channels and these videos are really looking at dating and at human relations in a very superficial way. And they do describe the superficial aspects of dating life and of life just in general. They do describe it very accurately, but they often fail to uncover that there's more to it than that, just simply the superficial aspects. And they fail to mention that, or they fail to understand that, because it feels like many of these content creators, they, especially those who are like into like the alpha or whatever, they use the alpha terminology and they're like super red pilled or whatever. I feel like they haven't really been in a true relationship in a long time, or haven't really had true human connection with a woman, or maybe with anyone, like for a long time, so that even they might have even forgotten what it's actually like to be vulnerable with someone and to just be truly yourself with someone else. And I feel like they got kind of stuck in this superficial aspect of life, just in this ego driven idea of themselves, because they got hurt probably, and because they're scared, because they got heartbroken, or because they got betrayed by a woman, and now they've shut off that aspect of themselves like completely. And it speaks to a lot of other men who are in the same position, who also got cheated on, heartbroken, whatever, and because it hurts too much, or because it triggers past traumas, um, traumas which people are not ready to confront yet, they get stuck in this ego driven, superficial way of looking at themselves, at women, and at the world. So, but it's kind of concerning to me that that, for example, YouTube knows when you break up with your girlfriend or whatever, and then you click on maybe one video that kind of speaks to you in that moment where you're super heartbroken or where you feel scared, and then suddenly you're in this universe where um, that's just red pilled, and you're getting bombarded with all these videos that kind of seem to make sense, but when you think about it, when you really are honest with yourself, you know that that's not all there is to it. It's just a comfort. It's just a comfort to you at that moment because it hides the pain, or it makes you feel stronger, and it makes you feel more protected. So I wanted to talk about connect this with the concept of being nothing. So I had recently had a psychedelic experience, the first one since I've broken up with my girlfriend, and I realized that after the breakup I was kind of building up my ego in order to compensate for the pain and the loss and the grief. I was like flirting with women. I was really paying attention, like how women viewed me, and I was feeling really attractive or good about myself. Like, oh, I'm the guy or whatever. I was feeling more and more like that, to make myself to be confident that I was able to get like a new girlfriend or a new whatever, new date, or to make myself feel worthy or whatever. And I realized that I kind of lost touch with the underlying sense of nothingness that we all have inside of us, or at least I hope we all have that inside of us, which really, with a psychedelic experience which breaks down your ego basically, it kind of confronts you with that nothingness, and it makes you realize that what you think you were or are, the image you've built up of yourself is not really the true you, or it's a part of you, but it's a useful part of you, but it's not the only thing there is to you. And I've noticed that while you're in that like ego driven state, you're looking at relationships in a really superficial way. So when you try to like date and stuff and hang out and flirt, and when you go to the club or whatever, you're thinking in a certain way, like because of my image I'm this attractive, and because of the way I talk, or you think about all these qualities that you have that make you attractive to other people, and you think in terms of what you desire and what other people desire. So you think in terms of, am I desirable to the other, and is the other desirable to me? But what we desire is often not actually what we want or what we need. For example, women desire, men of course desire women, and women desire to be desired by men or by whoever, and that's something these red pill channels do get right. Like they get that superficial aspect of what men and women want. They get it right, but at the same time, they fail to mention that these desires are kind of superficial. Like, I think in essence, what women and men want is not different from each other. Like, men want to desire a woman just because that's the way women are portrayed in media and culture, like as desirable beings. And because women want to comfort, to fit with that image, they want to feel desired in order to feel like a woman, and a man wants to desire a woman to feel like a man. But obviously, these are just social constructs, and it's not the true essence of our being. It's simply like a superficial desire which functions to bring people together in a certain way, which functions to enable people to connect superficially and kind of act as a shield for true vulnerability, which obviously in the world is a harsh, foul place. You cannot be vulnerable always. So these superficial desires and dynamics are in place to protect us as well. But at the same time, they're also dangerous in themselves, because I think, honestly, what you realize when you confront the nothingness in yourself, or you are honest with about the fact that you are basically nothing, you realize that what you really want is not like to desire a woman or to be desired. What you want is just, you want to be seen, you want to be understood, you want love, you want comfort, you want safety, you want trustworthy people around you, or you want someone who you can trust, and you want them to trust you. In essence, I don't think that's different for men and women. I don't think there's an essential difference between men and women on a deeper level. And that's what these red pill channels, they propagate the idea that there is, like, men and women are live in completely different universes, and the dynamics between them are like set in stone. They work in this and this and this way, and that's why as a man you have to know all these tricks or whatever. You have to act like this in order to survive in this dynamic, and you have to learn how women work and to be able to make sure you don't get betrayed and to not get used. Yeah, and I feel like this overlooks that deeper aspect of vulnerability, and just the more deeper sense of our being, which I think is very similar between men and women, because both men and women, deep down, I think we all conscious beings, like self-conscious beings, have this sense of nothingness, realizing that our ego is just a tool basically that enables us to survive in the world, but it's not really who we are. It's not really the essence of our being. It's just always balanced out by this nothingness, which we sometimes fall back to and then rearrange our ego. Well, hopefully that's what people do, because that enables you to change and to self-reflect. By going through this nothingness inside us, we can see which aspects of the ego we want to keep and which aspects we want to adjust, which are not healthy for us. And I think that's the same in philosophy. with the theory of ideology, where there's this theory that I think it was Deleuze and Guattari, or maybe Adorno also talks about it, where philosophy is like you build this castle, then you tear it down again to nothing, and then you build it again. Like, that's the way ideology works, basically. You keep building it up, destroying it, building it up, destroying it, and each time you build it up anew, you've learned you're supposed to have learned something. You're supposed to make some kind of adjustment from the last structure you built, but you know the structure is never the real thing. It's always destined to be destroyed again. And I think if people were more conscious to the fact that our ego also works in this way, it's not something that is, as the essence of our being is not something that's really real. I think if more creators talked about this and there was more content available which recognized this inner nothingness in us, it would help people much more to recover from breakups, or to work with their traumas, or to work with their problems, instead of just being bombarded with ideas and videos, and which are like comforting and give you a sense of safety, but are actually keeping you stuck in this certain resentful way of looking at the world and superficial way of looking at the world. So yeah, by this video I want to make my contribution. I've been watching a lot of YouTube for years now, and I never always felt like I wanted to voice my own opinion on certain matters, but I never did until today. And I hope it helped you in a way, or it inspired you in a way. And I hope just let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you ever felt the same way, if you ever had this experience of being nothing, and how it felt to you, whether it was confronting or whether it was freeing to you, or maybe both at the same time. So thanks for watching. This was Flo. See you in the next video.